your shoe.
It was my shoe. I was the catalyst.
Don't you make him shoey his own shoe?
Oh, look, it's more fun when you sort of just hand a man a shoe in a can. Anyway, we're live. Welcome, everybody, to episode 248 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson.
Hey, everybody.
Here to talk about all the goings-on in the hobby. And I guess this week we're going to get stuck relatively quickly into it. We're covering the big news because we're not shying away from it. But then it's all pretty much... it's all stuff that we... Like, the rest of the show will be relatively straightforward, won't it?
It's so funny. I feel like I talk to people, you know, trying to explain to them that we do a basketball podcast. It's about cards. And I feel like the average response I get is like, how do you find enough stuff to talk about every week? But, like, this is the classic week of the hobby, isn't it? Where something comes up and, like, the sheet's completely full. There's no way we're going to get through everything this week.
No, there'll be carryover topics for sure.
Yeah.
And I think there's plenty of organic topics, like, hobby-wise to talk about.
Beckett's had a data breach. Probstein's had a data breach. We're going to talk about autograph goats. We're going to talk about Fanatics pricing on their Topps Chrome product that's going to be coming out. We've got our own organic Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to talk about fantasy rises this season. So we're going to talk about who are the people that have surprised us this year, and we might even check in on a couple of their basketball cards. I finally finished my complete set of NBA 75. Kobe Logan and Chris Paul retired. Like, Chris Paul
There's
retired.
a bunch of stuff out. Yeah,
that
Chris...
far down the list.
Well, we've got the rest of the season to announce that. It's fine.
True, we can hold that. But at the same time, it'll be good to talk through that. And if we do get time to this, I really want to break this down, actually. It's because the Thunder have the Clippers unprotected pick. And so...
Oof.
I think that's going to be a fun one for us to, like, have a bit of a...
Sam Presti's broken the NBA.
Literally. Like, it'd be kind of cool if they took some picks off them to, like...
Yeah.
Even the... Alrighty. Let's start with Beckett. Beckett Collectibles have not actually released an official statement on this, but it has been confirmed by literally multiple sites at this point. And this happened 2 days ago from the time of recording. 500,000 email addresses have been affected. And basically, it's been compromised in terms of names, email addresses, addresses, and also passwords. So it's a pretty significant data breach.
It's huge. Like, they're claiming, like, you've got people's full names, addresses, phone numbers, shipping and living addresses. So the amount of data there is insane.
Yeah, and whether this is true or not, it's also saying that it's like famous people have registered on the database. So you know, maybe Drake's in there, maybe Jake Paul's in there. So now they've got the details of
Post Malone.
These young men. Post Malone, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's one of those, like, you understand when a data breach occurs, like the severity of the sensitive data that people can put together and utilize. Like, it's terrifying to think about.
Yeah. So basically from here, allegedly the data's been sold on the dark web. So I think the practical thing, if you are a member and you haven't heard about this somehow and you're hearing it first with us, I do apologize for this inconvenience for you, but just change your password and make sure you know it's a complicated password. That's the only real thing you could do at this point in time. There's not much else you can really do about it. Do we move on to the next data breach?
Yeah, I mean, there's not
Anything
much
else you want to talk about with that?
With regards to Beckett, like, there's not a lot you can... Yeah, there's not a lot with regards to a data breach. We all know how serious it is. It's an interesting one, though, because you think about it. If people in these databases, their addresses, there's plenty of thieves that could get a hold of this data, and then they targeted addresses. Like, look up suburbs cities that have high density of collectors, and you've actually got a shopping spree for criminals. It's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I can say this, and I think I can say it in a way that's not endorsing or giving people financial advice. But I went to a barbecue today, and I was talking to a guy, and he was saying about how his credit card had been compromised recently, and like the things he'd been doing around that. And I've had that very unfortunate, like it happens, and it's happened to me. So when I went away on holidays, because I suspected that's where my data got breached, was when I was away on holidays.
yeah,
I signed up for this particular financial institution. I'm not going to say the name of it because that's not important. But what they offer you is they offer you a physical card, but also a digital card. And that digital card you can discard each day. So if you're using it in a place or onto a service that you think like might not be that fantastic. So I feel like when I hear about stuff like this, it more makes me think of how actually valuable that having that credit card is. So you can just like, okay, you've had a data breach, get rid of your credit card. It's as simple as that, and sort of move on to the next one. So
that is crazy.
So I don't think this article is actually saying this is from valueaddedresource.net that you can put on the multi-factor authentication. I think that's a cookie cutter copy and paste email because you can't do that on Beckett. I'm almost certain of that. They don't have that.
Yeah, I mean two-factor authentication is definitely something that's being introduced globally to many platforms to protect from this stuff. But
I'm a convert of that, to be honest. I actually think it's a really anyway. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
This is getting boring at this point, isn't it? Let's talk about the good stuff. So Probstein, they've also been compromised. And it's really interesting the way this Probstein stuff's been reported, because what people have focused on is that they've compromised the website. They've obviously hacked the database and they've exported all the data out. And I was talking to my mate about this because I didn't properly understand it. But basically how they got through is through the API. And the API is built into the website so that legitimate sites can access that information. But what they didn't do was close the door on the part that would sort of give them access to the rest of the web page. So
to explain that API stuff, that's how our friends at 130 Point Lane, that's how they access all that data and things like that. Correct. For the sale completed listings and things.
Yeah. And I think, and again, I don't really understand this, but again, my buddy who does was explaining it to me. He's basically saying like they had multiple doors that you could walk through. 3 of them should have been left unlocked with no keys. And 1 of them should have been locked with a deadbolt, but they didn't be bothered to lock that one. So essentially, they've built this new website, but just not to put the security onto it.
And this is the new Probstein driven
snipe
webpage.
Yeah. So he's left the eBay platform, gone to build his own platform so he can compete with the likes of Fanatics and Goldens and Heritage, all that type of stuff.
Excellent. He's left the keys open, yeah.
Yeah, it was very well received at the start. He put very appealing and very low commissions onto the site, so that's what was attracting people to come across to it. All that data is now being put onto the dark web. And I think at this point, this is where we just put the huge asterisks onto it and say this is all just alleged at this point.
Yeah.
But they were saying that allegedly there's an account on there that's put on 11,277 bids. When you trace that back, it's somehow traced back to Probstein, which I think... this is why I'm saying allegedly too, because I feel like this is kind of one of those crimes. It's like, if he did create an account, would he actually be doing it? Wouldn't he have like an employee to do it? Something like that. Like, I kind of find sometimes this stuff like, it's very convenient, this information, but it's also is it actually believable?
But maybe it's a customer service feature.
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah. Look, I'll let you reply to this because I've had a lot to say so far, and then I'll sort of put my 2 cents in after that. I think.
Look, another data breach. The fact that it's incriminating evidence takes one of my conspiracy theories out. You know how
what's your conspiracy theory?
Well, I was going to say maybe they just wanted to sell the data themselves, so they talked about a leak, and now they can distribute the data as they see fit.
Okay. I mean, that's a wild conspiracy theory, but
why not? Okay. Why not? You can go to big auction houses with information and say you acquired it through.
I mean, you would generally want to keep your customers, not piss them off.
True. But
anyway, that's fine.
It's
a cool conspiracy theory. I didn't think of it.
It's a crazy world we're living in right now. But
it is a crazy world.
The shilling stuff is, I mean, everyone knew it's been happening anyway, really.
I was going to say, this is like the so interesting thing to me. It's like, why aren't people talking about the data breach? All they're talking about him shilling, which we already effing knew that. Like, this is not
We
news.
know the guy is, that's what he's renowned for, is shilling.
He literally invented shilling and made a business out of it.
Yeah.
And everyone now, and by the way, everyone and every single auction house copies his behavior, by the way.
Yeah. It's common practice.
I'm not condoning this, but
it,
this is now like, this is the world we live in.
We've
So
gone
why
from
are
a
people
world
so
where people put
outraged?
reserves on cards to the point where they're like, oh, in order to save a couple of cents on insertion fees and whatever,
Yeah.
we're going to shill the auction. You're like, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
It's ridiculous. But I agree with your point where why is everyone focused on the shill stuff?
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of data that's just been hacked and leaked.
Yeah. I personally think that's the bigger issue. And I mean, personally, if I was a customer, which I'm not of them, I just feel like that to me is the bigger and the more important part of this story. But I think at this point too, we just quickly go back and just touch on the alleged issues that Probstein has had in the past. So there was actually a class action lawsuit taken against him in 2020.
Yep.
Along with PSA, PWCC, and essentially what the class action was about was them, incorrectly or inappropriately inflating the final listing prices of cards that were on their platforms.
Yeah.
The suit alleges misrepresentation, consumer fraud, racketeering, breach of warranty, and more. And I actually spent a fair bit of time trying to find the outcome of this, but I couldn't find anything like that was, factual about it, which makes me think that they allegedly settled out of court on this one. So as much as, we sort of say that, and maybe this is why it's actually so important. So just like taking this full circle now. So maybe we actually do have evidence that he does have practices of shilling, because technically he's not ever been prosecuted. He's never been brought in front of a court of law. There's no evidence that he's ever settled with anyone. So maybe this is the smoking gun that people are, trying to get their hands on, for that.
Yeah, this might be the actual the grounds to move forward. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Before I put on my tinfoil hat, did you want to say anything else about this?
No, I'm looking for it. I'm sure there'll be conspiracies out there. I know that. I don't know. I think in this day and age, I think it's really important that we're protecting our data, and knowledge is power.
100%.
So this kind of data getting out there, there's so much you can take from this. So if you've got open access to people's bidding histories, trading, they're users. Like, you can actually target marketing to these people. You know what kind of cards they collect. There's a lot of stuff.
I actually agree with that. I think that data is very valuable.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine someone like
Someone
Golden?
will buy that.
Golden auctions. Another auction house. Here's a list of all the people that are
Dr. Evil
prepared
at the moment is Fanatics, right?
Fanatics collect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Fair. Yep. Maybe it's a Probstein play to get in bed with Fanatics by selling the data. They did orchestrated their own data breach, and now he's going to sell the data.
I don't know, man.
Well, he already knows he's shilling, so it's not like anyone cares about the evidence there. See, we go.
All right, I got my tinfoil hat on. So my thing about this is I actually wonder if someone's targeting these companies. Because for me, this is like two hacks in very close succession.
Yeah, 100%.
So for me, I'm like, who would most benefit from these two hacks happening in the same week? For me, it's obvious it's the remaining auction houses that are still around. I think eBay is too big to even like care about all this stuff. So that for me limits it down to Heritage, Goldens, and Fanatics. And again, I'm gonna call them the Dr. Evil of the hobby at the moment. So I'm gonna allegedly, or I'm gonna suggest that Fanatics is behind these two hacks.
Wow.
I don't even feel bad about saying it, to be honest.
We're going to get cancelled. We're going to have to do a show on Panini cards only at this rate.
Can we get cancelled?
I don't know. But that's an interesting theory.
Just my tinfoil hat.
It's not what not?
No, they're a different platform, and they're not really an auction
Can you
house.
can you imagine them marketing to these people explicitly to try and get them into their platform? As I said, this data is way too valuable.
Mm.
It can be repurposed and used for targeted marketing, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. All right, really quickly. This is from Oyvind Holland on NBA Card Market Australia. Who is your autograph GOAT? He's put up Kelly Tripitaka, who has an absolutely fantastic... I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm going to say straight away. For me, it's Admiral Schofield.
Admiral Schofield.
Kareem is also one of my favorites, and Ash Peters put one on up here of Ronaldo Blackman. I would say that's my top three. Where are you at, man? What have you got?
Me, I do like me a Kareem.
Yeah.
And I do like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Magic's is pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a couple more here. Sorry, after you, mate.
Yeah, no, they're the ones. They're like the nice, long script ones, I guess. Yeah.
Kenny Skywalker is another good one. That was put up by Lucas Gallen. Jamie White put up Louis Dampier. The funny thing for me about Louis Dampier is, like, I'd never heard of this dude before. When I saw it come out of a break, I actually went back and, like, did a bit of a deep dive into him. He should not be in Panini products. That's just my 2 cents on that. Damo Winterbond. G'day, Damo. Rick Fox, he's put up him, it's a pretty nice autograph.
Do you know?
It's arty.
Artsy, I like that. I was going to say, do you know, given, because we had dinner the other night, I'm going to make my criticism. Clyde Drexler, I don't like the autograph. It looks like Clyde Dreffler. There's no X, it's an F. It looks really weird. Just flashing back to that.
Come on, Clyde. Yeah, get your act together, mate.
Come on.
We should probably do that another time. What's our worst autographs of all
Worst
time?
autos, yeah. Okay.
All right, let's go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some Fanatics pricing.
Ooh.
Or should I say Dr. Evil pricing?
Dr. Evil.
Alrighty. Thank you, Neon Trading Cards, for your ongoing support and sponsorship of our show. Go to neontradingcards.com. There you'll find a whole host of breaks. We asked the lads about Topps Chrome in terms of the pricing. They said, unfortunately, they don't have any information for that at the moment. However, as soon as the shipping has been confirmed, they're going to be releasing the breaks onto their website. So keep an eye out for those. They've got a huge amount of Topps releases that are being headlined before Christmas time. NBA Chrome, MLB Chrome update with the MLB debut patch autographs in it. UEFA Merlin Chrome, F1 Chrome. Neon will be breaking cases of all of these, as they are the authorized top supplier and breaker in Australia. In addition to that, there are many other releases that we haven't mentioned. However, do keep an eye out for them, because you can buy them from neontradingcards.com and use them as stocking stuffers to make sure that all of your husbands, friends, wives, children have got full stockings when St. Nick comes. Thank you so much to Neon Trading Cards for your ongoing support. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. We're back.
We're back.
What's next on the docket? What are we going to talk about?
All right, I think we need to talk about Fanatics website and the pricing of Chrome. I went on there to have a look at it to see what it was going to cost me. Hobby and Jumbo have both sold out, so that's done and dusted. If you now want to purchase some of it, you now need to go to resellers, which, as we know, is a little bit of a problem because you can often be hijacked on that. Yeah, what they are currently selling is hangers for 20 USD, megas for 85 USD, and blasters for 50 USD. So I actually thought, we don't know the price of Hobby and Jumbo at the moment, right? But what we do know is the prices for blasters. So why don't we sort of build our conversation around that? Because I think traditionally Panini never had any blasters for that price ever. So correct me if I'm wrong about that, right? And what I'm referring to by that is when they're selling them at retail places that you could get your hands on them. So I'm not talking about resale afterwards. Like, we all know that was inflated, and then for our Aussie friends back home, they have to pay for, duties and international shipping.
100%.
So taking all that stuff out of it. But I can categorically say I was in America recently I bought blasters for 25 and 30 USD. That was the two highest prices I paid, and you can obviously get them for less than that. So, I think there's three things to be like discussed about this. I think that Fanatics paid a huge amount of money for the licenses, so I think this could be the new normal where the baseline is risen. The second thing is distribution is a massive problem, even though that they want to be the producer and also the distributor. So, for example, what I mean by that, if you go to an unnamed Australian huge player in the market, you go onto their website. I'm not going to name their name because they don't sponsor us, but they have still got Flagship as a pre-order. They haven't got it delivered yet to get into customers' hands. So we're moving on to the second product already, and they haven't even got delivery on the first product, right?
Either that or the website's just like it's on back order, but yeah,
whatever it is, like
the supply stuff with this.
I feel like, in my opinion, the supply chain is been interrupted, right? And I personally am putting that down to Fanatics' model. And I personally think this is what they want. They want all of it to come through them, but this is like the ripple effect that we're already seeing. So it's already sold out on the website. Now it's just going to be, at resellers price. I also think too, like that price is high, and I personally think they're doing that on purpose because they know if they put it lower, then the middleman is going to make more money.
Correct. Right. So they want to make money out of it.
They also want to be the middleman on it too. So I personally think that's done deliberately so that the next person in the chain isn't going to make as much money. So I'm a little bit interested to see what happens in that space because, like, how do people price this on the flip market? Do they do it on 50%?
They mark 20%? It up though, but that's
do you know what I mean, Ad? Like, is it just going to make everything more expensive down the line? That's where I'm sort of.
That's exactly right. Like Fanatics think they've cut an element out by being the middleman. No,
it was in the manifesto, right?
But they've just changed the pricing point because. Regardless, when the Panini product was there, if you got blasters in, the flippers would just buy them at whatever the retail is.
100%. And they flip them
and they would flip them at a markup.
Yeah.
So all that's going to happen is the flippers are going to pay the inflated price from Fanatics and put their markup on. Like, it just sets the bar higher. There's no rescaling of like... The money distribution remains the same equation. The consumers are the ones that just pay more.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's not good for the hobby long term.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how this plays out. So I think we just have to wait and see on it, and maybe also too they're banking on this product just being so coveted and so highly anticipated that they know they can price it for more and it will sell. So
flagship is hoops, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
We're
the general consensus.
The baseline, right? Like we're using flagship as your Don Russ and Hoops release. So obviously Chrome is Prism when you're hitting the parallels.
Sure.
Right? So this is literally the equivalent of getting Prism by the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or start of next year, end of this year. Like it's out quicker than bloody Panini's ever done it. But it is, they're trying to get that parallel. So they're going to say, well, look at historically what Prism did and sold for. So we're going to make it that price point. But then the flippers are going to add even more to it and send it through the roof.
Maybe that's what they did do, man. Maybe they saw what the after sale market was on Prism and that's what they're priced
and that's where they've priced it at. Yeah. Because the only thing with a supply demand industry, like anything supply demand,
that's a good take, man. Yeah.
It's very much based on what the customer and the consumers are prepared to pay.
Yeah, that's right. And
there's a demonstrated history of people paying that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard to give advice in the hobby like this, but the only way this changes if the consumers speak with their wallets and
no one buys it
and don't buy the product.
The price 100%.
Correct.
Yeah. So just going back full circle to Australian prices. So Neon, Fast Break, an unnamed major player in Australia have no information on pricing on Chrome at all.
There is nothing locally available in Australia.
Fast Break we reached out to Fast Break and Neon. Fast Break just said at the moment they got nothing.
Yep.
Neon said same thing. They got nothing at the moment. However, they did say, interestingly, it's going to be disgustingly priced, unfortunately. So I think we need to sort of hold on to our chairs with that.
Well, I think
David
that's based
Adams,
on the information that we've already got, right?
Yeah, but I personally, I mean, the way that I look at those boys, they are collectors themselves too. So I think,
100%, yeah.
like, I mean, the way I would look at that is, for me, a nice price on a hobby box of Prism will be like 1,000 Aussie.
Yeah.
So if it's, I'm assuming it just means it's going to be more than that. That's the way I would interpret that. But that's completely my own take on that.
Speculation, yeah.
David Adams have got blasters for 54, so that's $4 more than Tops, and Megas for 95, so that's $10 more than Tops were selling them for. So
not a huge markup.
Yeah, that's about the same. It's, but I think I've actually maybe one of the bigger winners out of all this is going to be David Adams, someone like that who's got that huge, catchment of resale.
Yeah.
Mike Geo and Boston Card Hunter, they were early on this, so they did this probably 2 or 3 days ago now. Their take was they were showing eBay listings that were the asking prices, and all of the asking prices were $1,000 plus.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't agree with that take, just pure and simple because we all know with eBay, everybody asks for at least double or triple what the actual card is worth. So it's no different when it comes to sealed. I think what we really need to see on eBay is the sold pricing. So at the moment, I could only find one box that was sold, and that was sold for 514 USD. And that's a pre-order. So that means that the person has to pay for it now, wait for that person's fulfillment to get done, and then they're going to post it out. But I personally think that's a better comp than what the asking prices are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't actually think there's much more we can glean from eBay because a lot of the eBay...
Well, it's all speculative stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but also a lot of the prices after that are just break prices. I could only find one from hobby boxes. So, yeah, that's what I sort of think about that. What's your closing thoughts on this before we move on and do the Memphis Grizzlies?
Honestly, I think this Chrome release is going to set the new normal for what the equivalent of Prism release. Like, and yeah, obviously we're living in this is the first iteration of what the world under Fanatics looks like.
Yeah.
But I think this is what the Prism release will look like. Do you know, like, this is the equivalent thereof. So Topps Chrome, we're about to find out what the baseline and the new normal is for this product. Yeah. Unless there's a tanking draft class, expect prices to be out.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this, and I think this is a very negative way to look at the hobby, and if I do get flack on this, I'll take it, but I would actually like them to see one product that's printed on demand.
So I still feel, not printed on demand, but they're doing those.
No. So
the
like
Hobbies
stuff. Hobbies and Jumbo have got all the numbered stuff in it, and that's like limited to 1 million boxes, whatever they make, right? But then at any time you can go onto the Fanatics website and you can buy a mega for $85. And they literally print those out on demand. Maybe one
junk wax style. Yeah.
And that, like, there's no lies about it. There's no ultra rare this and that. These are just basketball cards. If you want to rip a box, you can get one for $85. Maybe one in every 20 boxes has got an autograph. Something like that.
I would almost do that with the unnumbered parallels and just call it like Top Starburst or something. And then what you're doing is you're getting all these different colors, and it's just random color.
Yeah.
There's no quantity known, and kids get inserts. So that product is available.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's also my takeaway too from my time with Panini. It was like, I really feel like the worst thing that happened for them was everything sold out, because that's what really made prices go crazy.
Yeah. And it was the aftermarket.
Having something available for people to rip, I actually think is a good thing. And look, guys, if you're out there listening and you disagree with this, please let me know, and send us a message.
Interesting discussion.
We'll fire this back on next week's show, because I'm sort of the opinion that actually keeps the hobby accessible for everybody, and then people can still get their hobby and all that numbered and short printed stuff. Yeah. All right, let's do this really quickly. My Memphis Grizzlies take is this: fire the coach, fire Tomas, immediately hire Tom Thibodeau.
I like it. It's a very calculated move.
Bring back the Grizzlies grit and grind. Run everything through Ja Morant and implement all of the Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls dribble drive, penetrate and kick sets that they put in for him. Play Ja Morant 40, 42 minutes a game. Maybe he's MVP next season. Maybe his legs fall off and then we never see him again. But I honestly, I feel like this Memphis Grizzlies thing at the moment is just like a slow train wreck that we're just driving past and just like watching all the carriages burn at this point, man.
But it's a train wreck that's down the bottom of the standings. No one cares about it. Ja Morant is delusional.
I care. I care, actually. I feel like the ownership is going to side with the coach and they're going to scapegoat this kid.
I reckon Ja's going to get moved somewhere that he's going to actually have an impact. And the Grizzlies are going to suffer for ages.
I just don't think you bet on a coach instead of like a potentially star player, though.
100%.
And that's why I say just go all in on Ja. Get that coach. He's available.
Yeah. You're right. Thibodeau. Do it. I like it.
Anyway.
You know Ja's still holding firm through all this. I say holding firm. He's fluctuating between... All right, now he's dropped a little bit recently. He's down 10% over the last 6 months, so... I don't know. As long as he's there between $200 and $300, there might be some value in Ja if he gets moved. If they do what you've suggested, maybe he does go up again. Maybe he's MVP level Ja Morant again.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Fast Break Trading Cards, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Go to fastbreaktradingcards.com. Now, get ready, guys. Black Friday sales are coming. Online only, though, so make sure you check back. Thursday night at midnight, don't go to bed. Make sure you're up. Get onto Fast Break Trading Cards. Check out all of their Black Friday sales. It is going to be absolutely fire. These guys know how to run a sale. Alvaro and John, this is one thing they can, they can do many things good, but this is something else that's in their little pocketbook. They can run a sale. Also, if you want to go down and talk to the boys, do some trades with them, sell some of your cards, go to 75 Tulip Street in Cheltenham. Thursday and Friday, 12 till 6. Saturday, 9 till 5. Sunday, 10 till 4. Get down to fastbreaktradingcards.com. Adam, we are back.
We certainly are.
We're going to talk some fantasy basketball. Actually, before we go on to the actual topic, I'm going to just have a bit of casual chit-chat with you. Who is your best fantasy player so far in your team this year?
My first pick was Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
And my second pick, so I picked 10th in the draft in mine at a 12 player league, like 12 participants. So I think it was 14th or 15th pick. So I took Josh Giddey with my second pick. And I think Giddey's been really good, as has Cat to start the season.
Currently, Giddey is 10th in my league overall. So
very nice.
You've done very well for that. You'll like this. Technically, the best fantasy player in my team at the moment is Austin Reeves.
Nice.
So I was not expecting that. I've also got Donovan Mitchell and I've got Scotty Barnes. So I'm not doing too badly this year. They're doing pretty good. In saying that, my league is insanely competitive at the moment. So I'm getting my ass kicked most weeks, frankly. So anyway, what I did want to talk to you about this week was keeping fantasy in mind in overall, so not just in your team, in the league. Who are your biggest surprises from this year?
I mean, my biggest one would have been Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
That like he was on my radar. It was him or Giddey. Yep. And I thought I had a good pick in Giddey, and I do. I've got faith in Josh Giddey.
Yep.
But I think maybe I should have picked someone different.
Maxey was mine too. So I think what I was planning to do with you, mate, we'll pick out a couple of guys and we'll go through their prices on Card Ladder and just sort of see where they're at, because I feel like also for me, like video games, fantasy, that also influences like the way I collect cards. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I sort
100%.
of love to like tie all this in. So looking at Maxi the last 3 months, he's up 81%. So he started at sub 200.
Yep.
The peak this season, he was up to 425.
Oh, wow.
So I think my thing about Maxi, where I had some reservations, it was like I didn't really see where he fit into the pecking order of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I always felt that he was behind Embiid, and rightly so. Like Embiid's been the MVP, and so I was like, how much money do you really want to spend on a second stringer? And his pricing has been up to the 200s before. It's not the first time it's done this, but like I was sort of joking with you about this a couple of weeks ago. When are they going to get rid of Embiid and Paul George and just build around Maxi and Edgecombe?
I
Like
think I think that's a smart move though.
he's an absolute beast at the moment, and
He's killing it.
at
He's actually killing it. Yeah.
335, I mean, I'd rather have bought that at 200, but actually, I think this is a good buy, and
Yeah.
moving forward into the future, I quite like this pop on this 596. Are you buy, hold, or selling that much?
It's a tough one. I think I think he's still a buy.
Okay.
I think Maxi is one of those. It could be one of those 500 plus players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously dependent on how well Philly go, because if things blow up, but he's the guy there.
Yeah.
No one's overshadowing him. So maybe he is. Maybe I think there's still room to grow with Maxi. Obviously, he's not a bargain basement
No.
price now because of the spike, but
All right. The next one's Josh Giddey. You've already highlighted that. If you go to the last 2 years of Josh Giddey and then put your mouse to November 24, you can literally take your mouse up and then down, up and then down, up and then all the way down, all the way up, all the way back down again, now all the way back up. I've got to tell you, that is how the emotions for me and Josh Giddey have been, because when all that alleged interactions that he had with a girl under the age of 18, surfaced, his card pricing absolutely plummeted. And that's how I felt. I was like,
100%.
get out from this guy. You don't want nothing to do with it. And then it went down to a point where I was like, oh, it's too good to pass up. And then I was like, okay, I'm back on the Josh Giddey thing. Then the charges went away. So then I was feeling good about it. But then I was, the prices went too high. And then I was off it. And so honestly, like when I look at this graph, like that's literally my feelings to an absolute T there. But the way he's been playing this year, I think the fit in Chicago is actually really good.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think Billy Donovan is the world's best coach, but he's also not the worst coach either. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's been given a lot of time in Chicago. And, the really funny thing for me about the NBA is actually continuity does matter. And
100%.
maybe what we're seeing this year with Chicago is like, it's a pretty young team. They've got a lot of continuity, and Giddey has gotten better. I think that's the easiest way to, really summarize this.
Yeah, Giddey's playing very well. He's matured a lot. And the scoring, I've been impressed with his scoring.
I agree.
I think that was the one element of his game that I had concerns about.
That's essentially why he was traded, though, too.
Yeah, because he didn't have that dog in him. That
he couldn't catch and shoot the ball.
Correct. Like it was, he didn't have the desire to be the go-to scorer.
Yeah.
Or put the team on his back and score the ball. Facilitating was his go-to. So the fact that he can take on that responsibility now is huge.
We just have to skip back to Maxi for a second because I forgot to mention this before. Maxi is also getting a Tops Now card after his 54-point game.
Very nice.
Again, we did the Tops thing last week for our top 10. I'm all about this. I think these are amazing. I'm going to look in on the pricing on these. If these are reasonably priced, I'm actually going to pick one up because I think Maxi's cool. I think these Tops Now stuff is really cool. Closing the loops on that top 10 list that I did last week, I had some listener feedback on this.
Oh, nice.
Joe Dennison said that I should have just done a top 1. He said that this is too much to do a top 10. And Oyvind Holland had the best take on this and frankly, I dropped the ball on this, and I really wish Oyvind, I had him on the show for us to get this. He said I missed the autographs. the LeBron, all the guys who are coming back into it, and he's 100% right.
Yep.
So yeah, I completely missed that. I was wrong, Oyvind. You're a smart guy, and thank you for your fantastic feedback.
Does that mean we don't have to worry about that last category, that last insert set that we
according
didn't really...
to Joe, we would have just done one tops now, and that's it. Finish the show.
The 8-bit ones were great. Anyway.
Segueing back to our fantasy conversation, honorable mention to Jalen Duran, Şengün, Jalen Johnson, and Denny Adjava. Ad, do you want to pick one more before we move on?
Fantasy-wise this year,
yeah.
I've also... Oh, no, that's... Well, Julius Randle has been solid. Did you say Julius?
We can talk about Randle if you want, but...
I like Julius Randle. You know I PC Randle.
No, you do. So... I know you do. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's talk Julius Randle. All right. Julius Randle PSA 10 base is selling for $20.
Savage. There's nothing. There's actually nothing.
I actually can't find any silver data on this guy.
There's none. There is none.
The population, it's 218. I honestly think, man, at this point, this is a PC only card.
That's why I named him, because I PC him. Maybe that's why we haven't got the data, because I haven't been selling the cards. I'm the only Julius Randle collector out there.
Just wait till you unload your stash.
That's
right?
it. I just start, All-Star Weekend, I'll just start.
I mean, you joke, but wait till I start unloading my Schofields. And the data's really going to come pouring out.
That's it. That's exactly right.
All right, this next segment is 100% self-indulgent, but I don't care. I'm really happy / proud about this moment. I finally got together my set of 75 years of the NBA.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I thought I had this finished 3 months ago, but then I got all my cards into my hand. I realized I'd missed one, so I had to go back onto ComC and get another delivery done, but that's all good.
What was the card that was missing?
It was Kyrie Irving, actually.
Slippery sucker.
Yeah, he's a slippery little guy. He's got a smooth handle, too.
It does. It does.
Yeah. Anyway, go onto our Instagram, go onto our YouTube. You'll find the video on there. I went through and did a video and showed every single card on there.
That's awesome.
Did you get a chance to watch it, Ad?
No.
Well, I can't really ask you any questions about it. I was going to ask you, was there any cards that caught your eye? Look, I like the set card. Yeah, it's a good set. It's a fun set. It covers a whole bunch of different guys. It's got, the ultra modern guys. It's got the current veterans. It's got the old school, Kareem, Bill Russell, Kevin Garnett.
There are actually some nice shots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the action shots are great. I think the very simple way that the card looks.
It's super clean.
Yeah. Like, it's not a crazy background. It's just a plain silver background. I think that's really clever.
Yeah. I think my only criticism of this set is that I would actually like to see the actual 75 years in it.
Yeah. The logo, you mean?
Well, because, remember when they did the 50 years, then they did the 75 years, and they named 75 players at part of that celebration.
Oh, so the actual 75 players were
Yeah, I would actually like to see the top 75 in a set like this. So instead of having, the current crop of rookies in there, then you just have, the OGs in it. And I think that would be, in my opinion, that would actually make this set even better again. But
yeah, 100%.
I still liked it. It was just a fun set to actually, to get through. All right, can we do one more thing before we go to a break? What do you reckon?
Of course, one more. We can get one more in.
Kobe Logoman is next on the run sheet, my friend. I'm going to let you break this down because I feel like this is your boy.
This is my boy. Kobe Logoman. I'm just going to bring it up on the screen for everybody at home.
Fantastic.
PSA 10 Logoman selling 9 years apart. This is... So there was a sale on Kobe Day, I guess, the day after his birthday, the 24th of the 8th, 2016. Yeah, this Logoman sold for $7,999.
I bet you the person thought they were real smart selling it the day after his birthday too, right?
Oh, like they would have got extra price. The They reckon they made like an extra $1,000 because they sold it on that day.
That's
Yeah. It's like, oh, I would have.
at least 10%.
I got $8,000 instead of $7,000. I'm so good.
That's right.
9 years later, now you guys can do the maths on this and whether or not this is a good investment.
We're not maths people, are we?
Sold on the 20th of November, 2025 for $456,000. I'll just leave that there.
I think that's all you need to say, really.
Literally, he just made an extra $450K out of that in 9 years. That's $50,000 a year that card's gone up.
It's amazing. I actually don't see the value in this card, and I'm saying this respectfully, by the way, too. I think at that price you need at least an autograph in it.
100%.
And I also wonder too, who is buying this at that price, man? Like,
Well, it's not a round number,
sure.
so it's not the Wondershine group.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, why is this not Wondershine?
Be flat 500 for a
Yeah, that's
Wondershine purchase.
Or just 450, right?
Yeah. There's no change in the Wondershine purchases. But yeah, that's insane. I do have a level of agreement with you on the lack of an autograph. I think that price tag probably warrants an autograph on it.
Like, for me, even $50 I want a patch autograph, you know?
Yeah,
Let alone 450K, like.
Yeah. And I think the Logo Man as a card is one of those ones where you expect the auto as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a nice card. Beautiful card.
Amazing. Yeah.
I would have rather paid $8,000 for it.
That's right. That's right. USSportsCardsAustralia.com.au. Go there for all of your card collecting needs. Sports breaks. Check out My Cards Australia. Collectible protection, singles categories, hobby boxes, sports memorabilia, and Ross's famous water pistols. Don't forget, ComCA is Ross's card consignment service, which is currently building at an exponential rate at the moment. Ross has got a lot more sales happening on the page. He's getting a lot more submissions. He's putting cards on daily. He's very, very happy with the progress of the site. We mentioned a Carl Anthony Towns Logoman last week or the week before. That card has finally been listed. So if you're looking for some Carl Anthony Town Logoman, go on to check out My Cards Australia and pick up that bad boy right there. Thank you so much to Team US Sports Cards Australia for your ongoing support. All right, Ad, this is it. This is the fourth quarter.
Oh, things are gonna get wild in the fourth.
We're gonna get through some news stories right now. I think we should talk about Chris Paul retiring.
Yes.
I'm a little bit surprised in the timing of this. I would have thought he would have gone through to the end of the season. So I'm expecting more news to come out around this. So whether it's an injury or there's something, going on in his personal life for this to happen, or it could just simply be that the Clippers suck and he doesn't want to hang around with these guys anymore.
No, but he's it's the end of the season. He's playing until the end of the season. This is his farewell tour.
I've read a couple of different stories that
I'll go to the ESPN one from Instagram. Breaking: Chris Paul will be retiring after the end of the season. His 21st campaign in the NBA. Sources tell Shams.
I think yes, that is true, but I think there's a bit of other stuff going on. Let's call it alleged at this point. All right, let's check it back on this week. I feel like it might be too early for this, so we might have a bit more news. What I thought we could do is what's your favorite Chris Paul memory? Because I feel like he's kind of one of those guys that was just like a serial agitator at one point in his career.
There was a time where he almost became a Laker. That's probably my favorite.
Pretty good time, yeah.
And then
did that work out better for the Lakers that he didn't go there, or do you think
100%? I think yeah.
Because what was the closing doors moment with that? They got Paul Gasol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were going to give up Powell, weren't they, to get... Was the trade? What was the...
You're the Lakers fan, man.
I'll get the finer details of the trade. But yeah.
I think my favorite memory of him was it's the Clippers version of him, but when he played with Blake Griffin and they had that sort of alley-oop hookup shows happening.
Lob City.
And then they had DeAndre Jordan, then he made DeAndre Jordan good. And I think that's probably the other thing about Chris Paul too, that he's made a lot of people money. Like David West was the go-to guy on that Hornets team when he was there. And respectfully to David West, he didn't look quite as good when he didn't have Chris Paul throwing him the ball. So while you're looking up that trade, I'll keep going on with the next segment and just interrupt me and we'll segue back to it, man.
I've got the
You found it?
It was Pau Gasol was the key piece. Arena claiming the NBA.
I mean, in that case, I would personally rather have Paul and Kobe than
100%.
Kobe and Chris Paul. Like, I feel like that big guy with Kobe is like far more valuable.
Yeah. I just think that was like it was an interesting move. But the other thing about Chris Paul, I guess for me, is like Lob City, great memory. What I've noticed is he made teams better wherever he went. However bad they were, they always improved with 100%. Chris Paul. Yeah. The Thunder, right. He spent time in the Thunder. They became better. He taught these young guys how to play ball. His time in Phoenix, they got to the big dance. In Phoenix, like he's really
a pro.
He's a floor general. He is the
definition
of a point guard, being that leader in the locker room as well as on the court. So I really think he's led by example, and he's made those around him better. Which is why I think, and I don't know who in the organization wanted it, but I know there's a big, strong push from the San Antonio Spurs to get him last year. And that's why he spent that time in San Antonio. Because if you're going to teach Victor Wembanyama how best to get into the pick and roll, this is the man you want teaching it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So I think he's, he might have a future in coaching. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a funny one. I feel like he's the type of guy where he's got all the knowledge, but is he got the personality type to communicate with people and teach? I don't know. There's kind of a few funny guys like that. Like, I mean, Jordan's probably not the best example, is it? But maybe someone like Paul Pierce. Like, I actually think the amount of knowledge that guy's got, he'd be a fantastic coach. But I couldn't imagine he would ever do that. I'll be actually surprised if Chris Paul coaches.
It'll be interesting to see. It might be a couple of years out, and then he might jump in. I would not be surprised if he goes back to the Spurs to coach.
Okay.
I don't know. The Spurs always bring people in and do stuff like that.
I thought that's what they were doing when he was there, and when he left, it sort of changed my mind a little bit on that. Actually,
I reckon when he left, it was because of the coaching change, and there was a few things because I think he wanted to be under Popovich. But anyway, 2009 tops, Steph Curry Gold, PSA 8. Population on this is 119. Last sold for 11,406. If you look at the beautiful card ladder graph that they've got here, it's got a nice flat line, an extremely high spike, relatively stable for a bit, and then just straight line going up again. Ryan from GemRate. Ryan, I hope you're well, mate. And he's been waxing lyrical for a long time that Steph Curry is one of the most underrated guys in the league. So I feel like this type of data just further reinforces Ryan's point on that. Yeah.
I personally think this is, even though this is obviously a very steep line upwards, I think this is a fantastic purchase. And now this just establishes a new baseline for cost. And, I think in the past we've used Jason Tatum as a comp between the rest of the league. Maybe what we actually need to start doing is using either high-end Steph Curry for higher-end stuff or lower-graded Steph for kind of like that lower-end stuff. And you say, okay, there's an $11,000 card. You can get that, whatever card that is, or you can get a PSA 8 Steph Curry Gold, which is the one you'd rather have, because like it's getting into sort of like crazy town sometimes, isn't it? When you've got Steph
nuts.
Curry undervalued and you got other guys going for 10 times, what Steph Curry's going for. So
it's insane.
I've got no problem with this at all, Ad.
Yeah. I mean, it's PSA 8. It's like the benchmark of a raw card now.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're saying is, if you crack that card raw, now you've got one of those raw. And in good nick. PSA 8 is pretty much the benchmark, and you're like, wow, that's an $11,000 card.
Would you crack that? Would you if you bought that? Is that what you're saying?
Would you resub it? No.
Yeah.
I'm saying because PSA 8 is the standard is about the same price as raw.
Sure.
Parallel wise. So what we're saying is, if you've got a raw one of these, it's probably worth 11 grand.
Yeah.
Is raw up on there? I can look up that stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. Look, Steph Curry's not my boy, so I'm not too cut up by this. Obviously, I think when you look at that graph, it's like it's an opportunity missed. But for me, my guy that I'm still really keen on purchasing is a Jokic, because obviously I've effed that up, hardcore at this point. But I actually think he's also the type of guy that is getting still overlooked, despite, his prices are going up. But all the numbers he's putting up, I sort of put him in almost to the Steph Curry category of just being, hideously undervalued.
Yeah, for sure. Jokic is a really good one. We can talk about Jokic at the moment. Isn't he leading every stat, like all the three key main stats again?
Yeah.
Again?
He's ridiculous, that guy.
Like, no
he
one
actually
talks
makes a
about
mockery of basketball, yeah.
Yeah. There's a video out on Instagram.
Why don't we do a whole thing next week on Jokic, so then we can say we're actually talking about the guy.
Yeah, given he's probably the best basketball player in the world. There's a video reaction of how he reacts to winning an NBA championship versus winning a horse race, and he's much more emotional about the horse race. Like lifting up the jockey and the horse, like the cart, and just anyway.
Yeah. GameStop to ban customers for, drum roll, weighing packs.
I'm
all about this. I'm all about this. These guys are absolute flogs and need to go back to their mum's basements. I am 100% all aboard this. Where are you at with this?
Why would you allow a customer to weigh packs? So,
know Pokemon better than me, but my understanding is the heavier packs have got the hollows in them.
Of course, right? So if there's a shiny card, it weighs, there's a minuscule. So they've got these little scales, these baby scales that they put on the counter, zero out, and it tells you how many, it rounds it to like 4 decimals.
You're just further reinforcing what I said before. These guys need to go back to their mum's basements.
Correct. But I've seen it in game stores. People come in and they actually expect the staff behind the counter to indulge them by sharing all the booster packs with them to do it. I'm like, you're kidding, right? They're hoping for the Sunday afternoon casual that doesn't give a stuff about and going, if you want to weigh all your packs, go for your life, you weirdo. It should be policy in the stores. No, you can't weigh the packs.
Yeah. I do think it's really nice to, if you're buying a pack, you get to pick your pack.
Pick your pack's fine, but I'm not pulling out you're not pulling out a scale.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not.
You know what? I'm going to rock in with a portable CT scanner. It's just as bad.
Not to fast break trading cards, though. Don't do it to them.
No, I wouldn't do it to them. It'd be funny. It'd be like if it was a Halloween themed event, like a costume. I'll come in with my pretend scanner and my scales.
That's your costume for next year, man. That's awesome.
That's it. We'll go to Collect Fest.
My thing with NBA though is you can get the heavier pack and then you get a patch out of it. It can be a napkin patch. You can get the light pack and it can be an autograph or a redemption.
Isn't that why they put the little
and they put blockers in NBA
in?
too?
Yeah. So people weren't going, oh, it's the thicker pack. It's the one that's got the patch, and you'd be like, nah.
Totally self-indulgent. Again, this is basically just for me, my own entertainment. This is from Lock It or Leave It on Instagram. Really don't know who this guy is, but yeah, check him out on Instagram. He's doing some cool content. What he's basically highlighting is there's a pick swap that's going to happen this year between the Clippers and the Thunder. The Clippers are at the moment, at the time I did research, 4-11. And allegedly this year's draft is absolutely loaded, so there's a potential that the Thunder could get another top 5 pick. In a draft that essentially, that will be like having the number 1 pick last year. So imagine adding Cooper Flag to this year's Thunder. That's another way of putting this forward.
That's so terrifying, right?
Yeah. At what point does the league step in and just kind of say, like, you guys have
You've maxed out your picks.
you've run the tables on everyone, and we kind of need to be the casino here and hold you back.
Call you back. Yeah.
LeBron James to close.
A LeBron James to close. Oh, how the times have changed.
2024 Prism Black LeBron James Color Blast. This is horizontal for you aficionados out there. Sold on Alt for $15,611. If you were the owner of this card ad, would you be disappointed or happy with this sale?
It's an interesting one. I think I'd be happy.
Like, for me, this is the chalk toss combined with the color blast.
Agreed, but I also think...
And it's PSA 10.
I think the color blast, for me, the color blast isn't up there yet.
Yeah, I think the criticism of this card is that it's from Prism Black. And so essentially this was like the last hurrah, and
chuck all the
comps on the general rookie cards out of those, for example, aren't as high as the stuff that's coming out of straight hobby.
Yeah, which is interesting.
I think that sort of rolls over here in terms of that too. But I really do think that, timing is like everything when you come to these bigger cards. And, this is where you really need someone to give you some advice and be like, look, your better play here is to hold this for 5 years or 10 years. And
yeah. Like once there's some scarcity about it. Oh, look, we might get the Kobe scenario from earlier where sold for 15,000 and then in 2035 it's sold for 400,000. Who knows?
I don't think this card has quite the same potential, but I do think this card is not going down. I think this card's going
I think there'll be a level of the card increasing in value. I don't think it'll be almost $500,000.
Yeah. All right. I think on that point, we thank everybody for tuning in. We really hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Thank you, Adam, again, for your commentary and contributions this week. Thank you to our friends at Central Coast Radio. Your support the last few weeks has been absolutely amazing. We are just blown away by how many people are tuning in each week at this point in time. So guys on Central Coast Radio, thank you so much. Huge shout out to our friends in Canada. I think we need to also shout out to our friends in Philippines on the podcast. We've got a lot of people tuning in Philippines at the moment.
That's it.
We've got a lot more people tuning in America and again into Canada, just, the straight podcast. So guys, thank you so much for your support. We're honored. We're flattered.
Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. And catch everybody.
And the YouTubers. Don't forget the YouTubers.
YouTube has been popping lately, actually.
It has. So, yeah, a few new subscribers. It's really good to see everybody. Say thank you in the comments if you see us on YouTube. Give us a review if you listen to us on one of the podcasting platforms.
That's it.
And check us out. Let us know. Let us know if you if there's anything particular content you want to. And if you'd like to support the show, you can click. There's a link, isn't there, in the show where you can support the show? We're really bad at this, Russell.
Yeah, we're shocking at this. This is getting worse, not getting better. Yeah, so if you go to the podcast description, there's like a buy me a coffee link where you can go on and you can do it with that. There's a PayPal link. It's all officially done through Buzzsprout, so you're not going to get ripped off or anything like that. If you want to chuck us a couple of bucks to say thanks, that's the other way you can do that too.
Yeah. And unlike Beckett and Snipe,
all of your data is protected.
Your data will be protected. Yeah,
that's right.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks Russell, and we'll see you all